what's going on, guys? This is JD Moonin from jdmoonin.com. I'm coming at you guys with another Magicka DK build. Now, this build is called the Bane. The reason why I love this build is it's probably one of my favorite builds. It's super strong. I did not want to release it. As you guys know that watch my Twitch stream, you guys have seen me 1vx in it recently, as well as do some group play in it. I didn't want to release it because it's super fucking broken, and but if they're going to nerf it, they're going to nerf it regardless of whether or not I release it or not. So I'm just going to release it, give you guys access to what I'm wearing and also what my CP looks like and how I'm using this build and how we're going to work with this build. So I want to dive into gear, skills, stats, and CP. So, and also I'm going to have some footage for you guys at the end of the video as well, so you guys can see the 1vx potential and also the group play potential of this build and how strong it is. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into gear real quick and explain to you guys as well what you're going to exchange when you're in a group play setting. I have tested with Valkynscoria. Bloodspawn is going to perform better. So let's go ahead and dive into it real quick. So looking at gear, so the Bane setup is going to be set up just like this. We're going to be running for the 1vx, and for 1vx and like 2vx, you're going to want the Valkynscoria. And the Valkynscoria is going to give us that nice burst damage, since a lot of people are like, JD, it's lacking damage, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, hey, check it out. We got Valkynscoria, so it's not lacking damage, blah, 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 blah. And it shuts them up most of the time. And then they watch me 1vx, and it really shuts them up. But anyway, so that's what we're running for the helm and shoulder. On our body, so we're going to be running 3 pieces of Durox Bane on the body. That's going to be the chest piece, the pants, and the boots. Now, the boots are reinforced on this setup. And that's just because they need to be turned over to sturdy. And so I'll explain to you, like, the reason why it's not sturdy yet is because I haven't transmuted it. So I'm just being lazy. Anyways, because I can play with the reinforced because I've got a sturdy shield, so I don't really give a shit. Anyways, so we're going to be you want to make sure that you have 5 pieces of sturdy on the body, okay? 5 with 2 pieces of impin. So right now I have 1 reinforced on the body, so that's just how my setup is currently. But min-maxed, 5 pieces sturdy, 2 piece impin. Okay, so now diving back in, if you guys are not sure what Durox Bane is probably one of the most broken sets in the game right now. For Magicka class, it's not really that broken for Stam. I think you're going to get better performance out of Cyrodiil's Crest if you want to run a similar stamina DK version of this build. So Cyrodiil's Crest is going to be your bread and butter if you want to run something similar to this build. So now diving back into what we're wearing for the setup. So in this setup, like I said, we got Durox Bane and we're running Desert Rose. That's going to be our big sustain set. As you guys know, I really like Desert Rose. It's still by far the best sustain set in the game for MagDK currently. So now this is the meat of the Durox Bane and how we're able to get 3 pieces of heavy on the body from Durox Bane and not have to have sword and shield. So it kind of keeps you from having to farm the weapons, which is really nice. So it really made getting access to this build a little bit easier. So you can get these 2 arcane rings. So this is why it's so good for MagDK, because you can get arcane rings with this setup. So this is really important with this build, is that we have access to 2 arcane rings, and so that's why it's viable for MagDK. So we're going to be running 2 reduced costs on those rings, and then we're going to be running 1 Desert Rose necklace with a reduced block cost on it. Okay, now going down to sword and board, we're going to be running a reinforced on our front bar. Ideally, we'd be running reinforced on the back bar, but again, I'm being lazy and haven't went to whatever that fucking little town is. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, where you get Desert Rose. And I don't feel like buying one for 200k. So that's why that shield hasn't changed, and I'm just going to transmute it over to reinforced anyways, so just being lazy, like I said. Defending on the back bar and sharpened on the front. Our enchant on the weapon is going to be increased spell and weapon damage. Our enchant on the back bar is going to be reduced physical and spell resistance of whatever target we're hitting. Now we're going to be running maximum Magicka enchants on both shields and all of the body pieces, okay? So let's dive into skills real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over how you guys are going to be wanting to run this build, okay? So we are running Flame Lash, Burning Embers, Burning Talons, Fossilize, and Engulfing Flames. Now, it has kind of changed up a bit. They're like, JD, where's the crit at? Where's the crit at? We don't need crit with this build. We have healing debuff. That's way more powerful than crit. And we're running Ferocious Sleep. So the way this works is also, if you come look at our back bar, right? So we have volatile armor on the back bar. Well, if you read, while active, the armor returns 1200 damage to the attacker. So keep in mind, guys, this is all going to stack up with our dots. So this is going to be really, really important. While people are attacking us, they're taking damage from our basically our thorns, okay? And while we're stacking dots with burning talons and also engulfing flames and burning embers, we're just going to dot up everybody around us, okay? That is the goal. So while they're beating on you and their healers over there spamming BOL and blah, 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 it's not good. It's not doing anything. They can't out heal your dots. That's why this build's so powerful. And that's why Valken Scoria is really essential when we're 1vxing this build, because that's going to give us that burst damage that we're missing. So you're going to see that Valken Scoria hit, and then you're going to leap. So that's how we're doing that. So once again, Flame Lash, Burning Embers, Burning Talons, Fossilize. I've tried others. I've tried Chains. I've tried Stone Fist, which is complete trash. And I've also done Chains and Fossilize on the front bar, but guys, I just suggest running Fossilize and kiting people if they keep running away from you. Or if you're having a problem, the really cool thing about this build is you don't have to have a major buff. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're getting sniped down constantly, you keep running into groups with just nothing but snipers, take Structured Entropy off. You don't need it. It's not needed. I keep it on there so that way I'm doing more damage, so I can burst people down and move targets quickly. But put wings on that bar. Keep your wings down there. If you're getting sniped constantly, fucking use wings. You know, get that entropy off of there. Use those fucking wings. Make them snipe themselves. It's great. I love doing it. It's funny to watch. Anyways, so we're running Coagulating Blood, number 1. Igneous Shield, Volatile Armor, Mistform. If you're not running Mistform, you're fucking stupid. You need to put it on. And Structured Entropy, as well as Bats. Now, the reason why we have Bats on the back bar, we're only using this for 1vxing. And the reason why is because it's a low-cost ultimate, and it's a dot, okay? So it's going to also activate Valken Scoria. So we want to make sure that we have Bats on our back bar. It's going to give us that oh shit. It's going to give us a lot of damage because we have so much into Thaumaturge. So unbuffed, it's hitting people for 3,700, okay? And if you look at our stats, dude, we only have 1573 spell damage, and that Bats dot is hitting for almost 4K unbuffed. Almost 4K unbuffed. So if we go back and look at these dots, I mean, look at this. You got an 800 dot there. You got a 4K dot there. You got a fucking 4K dot there. Or you see what I'm saying? Like, these dots are, I'm sorry, almost a 1500 dot there. You see what I'm saying? So it's really, really important to make sure we have that Bats on there. So let's go ahead and dive into CP. So the general idea, guys, is whenever you have a bunch of people on you, you want to be making sure to hit those talents. Hit those talents. Keep those dots on them, because they're going to be spamming Vigor, right? And their Vigors are not going to be enough to heal them. I was fighting my buddy the other day, and while he was fighting me, his Vigor, and he's in heavy armor, okay? His Vigor was healing him for 200 a tick, okay? That's how fucking strong this is, okay? So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the Apprentice. Now, I like to run 123 points into this, okay? I am still testing back and forth between Thaumaturge and that. It's really situational, you know? So for 1vx, I like to have 123 here. It's going to help out with sustain because of Arcane Well. For group play, run 75 into Thaumaturge to get the Exploiter, to get more damage, because your sustain is not going to be as much as an issue, because you're going to be, you know, you're going to be grouping people down. So you're going to be able to sustain a lot better in groups. So anyways, keep in mind, this is the 1vx setup. So 43 points in a Blessed, 43 points in Elemental Expert, 23 points in Elfborn. I know a lot of people are like, well, Jay, that's not a lot of points. Well, the reason why it's not a lot of points is because we don't have a lot of crit. We only got 22% crit. So who gives a fuck about Elfborn? We're just, honestly, I just got that 10% in there for a heal on Quagbar. That's honestly the only reason why I'm using it. It's not for damage. Spell Erosion, we only have 14 points in there, mainly because we don't have anywhere else to put 3 points. So just run that Spell Erosion in there. Because you're running a dot build, you don't really need the Spell Erosion that much. It's not quite as important. But I would suggest having at least a little bit of points in there. Just a little bit. We're running 56 points in Mastered Arms. That's just going to make sure that we have more damage on our whip and more damage on our leap. Our bursty abilities that we need to burst somebody down, we do still need to make sure we have 20% increased damage on those skills. So like I said, 51 points in Thaumaturge for that 19% extra damage on the dots. 56 points in Ironclad to counteract everybody else's Mastered Arms. We're running 56 points into Resistant to make up for that loss of Impin that we're not wearing. I'm sorry, to just make up for the loss of Impin. For all the sturdy pieces that we have. We got 1 point into Light Armor Focus because we have 1 extra point, and that was the only tree that I really cared to put it in. Thick Skinned, we are running 31 points into Thick Skin, 43 into Hardy because there are a lot of fucking Nightblades now that Sork's been nerfed, so Hardy is definitely my suggestion for this patch. 43 points in a Quick Recovery. That's going to keep our heal big since we're lacking crit. We want to make sure we have those big heals. Moving on to Green Tree, we have 4 points into Sprinter. I put those 4 points in there because they nerfed Fossilized, so I find myself sprinting after people a lot. I've got 56 points into Warlord. That's going to give us that 20% break free cost reduction, as well as 58 points into Befoul. This is crucial. You need those points into Befoul. At least 56 points into Befoul. It's extremely important for this build. 56 points into Tumbling for that 20% roll dodge reduction, and 56 points into Shadow Ward. The Shadow Ward needs to be the first one that you spec points into, then Befoul for this build, and then of course you're going to be doing this tree over here and running 56 points in Warlord. So guys, that's CP. Don't forget to stay tuned for the footage at the end of the video, and don't forget to shoot me a subscribe at the bottom of the page. Come by and check us out on Twitch. Also, go check out the website. I think it's gonna be down until the 9th. So if anybody wants to help out with that and keep the website running, don't forget you guys can shoot me a donation on the Twitch stream to go ahead and kind of help me keep up the website and keep everything going, because I am paying for all this out of my pocket, guys, and sometimes it is pretty tough to keep, you know, the website going, all this shit, you know, just up and running. It does cost me a lot of money, so any help that you guys could throw my way would be great. So anyways, yeah, if you guys like the builds, don't forget, like I said, shoot me a subscribe. And I will see you guys out there on the battlefield, and enjoy the Bane build. It is a blast.
Hold up.